Uncommon Analysis here. Today I want to talk to you about the Pennsylvania Senate race. Here we are, more than a week out from Election Day, and we still don't have all the ballots counted. What is going on? How is this possible? How do we not have all the ballots counted? Why are we still counting ballots? Why do we still not have a winner? What the heck is going on? It used to be you just knew, right? You knew Election Day. Well, in Pennsylvania, we did know on Election Day, right? We knew Pennsylvania's called. We knew the presidential race. Why do we know that? Because the margins were big enough. Provisional and overseas ballots get counted. There's more to them, right? It takes a while to count them. Overseas ballots come in late, etc. I don't think anybody wants to alienate um, our fighting men and women that are overseas casting their ballots because the plane landed a few days late, right? So I'm not even going to that one. I want to talk mainly about provisional ballots. But why are we still counting these ballots? Why is it taking so long? Well, because the ballots that are outstanding, like I said, are provisional ballots and overseas ballots. Provisional ballots are a very special thing. They take more time. They just do. Okay? And I said the federal law mandating started in 2002. I do not know if Pennsylvania had them before then, what year they had them. I can tell you that the Act 320 from 1937 was modified in 2012 and explicitly talks about them. But that's neither here nor there. They're part of the system. They've been part of the system for a while now. I am telling you what I'm going to tell you as a poll worker. I have worked the polls now for at least since 2016. I'm not sure of my first vote. I don't remember if I was in the midterms of 2014 that did my first election or the primaries of 2016. But I have been working the polls pretty much every election since in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to tell you about provisional ballots and how it works to hopefully talk people off the edge, right? Oh my God, what's going on? They're doing malfeasance. Why is it taking so long? Somebody's screwing with something. Somebody's lying. Somebody's doing this. Somebody's doing that. No, 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 no. Calm down. Drink some wine. Take a shot of whiskey. I don't know. Eat a peanut butter cup. Whatever is your vice to help you back away from the edge, take one. We're going to talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about why we're still counting ballots and why it's taking so long. Okay? We didn't have an election result. We didn't know who the winner is because this race is tight. This race is incredibly tight. This race is about 30,000. I think it's a little under 30,000 votes right now. And there's last I checked, I don't know the numbers because I haven't checked in a while. Last I checked, there were about 61,000, 60,000-ish votes left outstanding. So those 60,000 votes are enough to where the race could change based on how those votes break down. Now, at a personal level, I don't think Casey can win this. Okay, I think the number of outstanding votes based on the margin of error, the margin of the lead, McCormick's probably going to almost certainly hold on. I can't say that for certain, but I would say that's the odds are pretty high. McCormick's going to hold his lead. He's going to win the state. Okay. In fact, while this is Decision Desk, they have not formally called this race. If I look over here at AP, they have indeed called this race. Okay. But again, there are still more ballots that are more than the margin of error. So we're still counting. And Casey's not conceding. Casey has a right not to concede. It is a tight election. But getting back to me, why are we still counting ballots? Mainly because they're provisional ballots, and provisional ballots take time. Why do provisional ballots take time? Provisional ballots take time because, unlike regular ballots, you need to. The reason they're a provisional ballot is because you're not sure that ballot should be counted. There was some reason we could not let that voter vote in a normal way. Okay? Could be something as simple as an administrative error. Their name's not in the book. They should have been in the book, but it's not. Well, we can't verify they're allowed to vote. In Pennsylvania, okay, we have what they call, we do not have same day registration. You can't show up on you have to be registered to vote in Pennsylvania, and you can't do it the day of the vote. You can't show up at the polling booth and demand to vote. You're not registered. You got to register. And you're not registered beforehand, you're not allowed to vote. Now, if you come in and demand to vote and you didn't register, I'm not going to fight with you. You're not in the book. I'm not going to get a physical altercation with you. I'm not going to argue with you, right? What I will do is say, okay, we'll give you a provisional ballot. And then the county can determine whether or not that ballot should count or not, whether or not you are legally allowed to vote. But a provisional ballot is when you come in to vote, we are not 100% sure that you should be allowed to vote for many reasons. Okay, for many reasons. The most simple one being what we just talked about there. It's an administrative problem. Your name's just not in the book. You may have registered. You may have registered in plenty of time. You should be there, but somebody screwed up, deleted your record, or something else happened. Right? You're just not in the book. I can't you're not in the book, I can't put you in normal way because I'm not sure you're allowed to vote. So we give a provisional ballot. Provisional ballot will then go to county. County will then adjudicate whether or not, determine whether or not that ballot should count. Okay? See where I'm going here? Okay. So what happens? We talked about the normal one. You walk in, tell them your name, they find you in the book, you sign your name, they give you a ballot, you go to the voting booth, you fill it in, and then you put it in the ballot box. That's a normal voting. You come in and we can't find you in the box, there's some other reason we can't verify 100% you should be allowed to vote. You're going to get a provisional ballot. That provisional ballot, you're going to go fill out. It's a normal ballot. There's no difference. The provisional ballot is no different. It's not like a separate special ballot. It's the exact same ballot. The difference is that ballot doesn't go in the ballot box to get counted. It goes in an envelope with all your information on it. You saying I am allowed to vote here. A judge of election signs it. The minority inspector signs it. Some paperwork, other paperwork is done with it. Stickers get put on these envelopes, it gets sealed up, and it goes to county. And then county gets to determine whether or not that vote should count. Now, what does a provisional ballot envelope look like in Pennsylvania? This is pretty much it. Okay, the voter's going to fill in the top part. You're going to fill your ballot. You're going to bring it back over. We're not going to let you put it in the ballot box. You're going to bring it back over. You're going to fill this top part out, right? Everything it asks you for. And then the judge of elections is going to fill out why we put you on, why we gave you a provisional ballot. It could be more than one or more of these things, right? He's going to sign it. Then the minority inspector is going to sign it. So it's not, you don't have one person in there just stuffing the ballot box, um, filling out things, going through the book. Go, okay, here's all these people. All right, we're gonna fill it in and fake their votes and do all kinds of other crazy crap and get the. You have to have two people, right? And there's a the fixed ballot ID. All that stuff goes on here, right? Um, to validate everything. Okay. Then only then your vote goes downtown or goes to the county, and the county will then determine if that vote counts. So when you're counting absentee ballot, I'm sorry, when you're counting provisional ballots, it takes longer to do. Why does it take longer to do? Because the county has to determine whether or not that ballot should count. And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, is this person that cast this ballot registered to vote? Let's check. Oh, good, they are registered to vote. All right, so they're registered. That's great. Did is this did this person vote in another way? Did they vote in another district? I don't know. Do we have a vote when we go through the poll books and we see who voted and who didn't? Do we have we see they were actually at the wrong, let's they do we see that somebody voted, this person voted in a different district, perhaps they weren't in the book because not because of an administrative error, but because they're actually in a different district, they live in a different district. Did they vote there in person and then show up and try to vote again in person in a different district? All right, no, they're not registered anywhere else, they're not in a different district, right? Okay, good. They haven't voted elsewhere, so they are legally allowed, they're illegally allowed to vote. They didn't vote in some other district. That's good. Were they given a mail-in vote? Were they given a mail-in ballot? And if so, did they return it? Okay. Oh, no, they weren't sent a mail-in ballot. Okay, so, and a bunch of different checks, right? They eventually determine this vote should count for this person. Okay, boom. That ballot now will be counted. And they have to go through that for every single provision ballot. Okay, takes time, guys. Takes time. Now, as someone who's worked the polls for a good while now, I've seen administrative problems. Person's not in the book, right? Person doesn't have ID. Pennsylvania, generally you don't have to show ID, but if it's your first time voting in a new district or your first time voting ever, or you haven't voted in a while, they may ask, the state can ask for an ID. And if the book says you need to show me ID before I let you on that, give you a ballot to vote normally, and you don't have an ID, you're not voting normally. But we will give you a person. We're not denying your right to vote. We're just like, we can't verify you are who you claim to be because you haven't shown ID to validate it. So we're going to put you on provisional ballot, and then the county can deal with figuring out where that ballot should count. Okay. That's not usually, it happens occasionally. That's not a big one because you can either go find ID, you go back home and bring your ID back, or we'll give you a provision. If you go back home or go out your car and grab your ID that's in your car and come back in with it, and the book says we need to see an ID, boom, you're good. We'll vote you normally. Or you can go back home and get it. If you say I'm not going back home, I gotta get back to work. Okay, well then we'll give you a provisional, and they can deal with the county. They can validate you are who you are with county, and they'll count the vote if it should. Probably the most common, however, reason, in my experience, we use provisional ballots is because someone requested a mail-in ballot and it has not been, we cannot validate it's been returned to the county and you didn't bring it with you to surrender. When you, in Pennsylvania, we don't have, you can vote by mail, but you have to request the ballot. It's not automatic. You don't just automatically get a ballot in the mail. You have to request it. And up until 2020, you had to have a reason to request it. It wasn't blanket, anybody can request one, right? You were only supposed to request a ballot if you were invalid or you were going to be traveling or you were a student, who was not, studying abroad, not in the state, etc. Um, and there are other reasons, but those are some of the key ones, right? You could request a mail-in ballot. You would be mailed a mail-in ballot. You would fill out that ballot, put it out in the envelope, and ship it back to the county. Excuse me. And then the county would count it as a mail-in ballot. Well, there's a little hole in that process, right? If I mailed you out the ballot, I may or may not have, if I've got it back, if the county gets the ballot back by a certain time, the people at the polls will know not only that you got it, but they received it back and you had indeed voted, right? But what if it was in the mail or in transit and they hadn't received it when they printed the books? Because they got to print those books. They can't print them the last second, right? They got to print them ahead of time. So in that case, all we're going to know at the polling place is we should know you were sent a provisional ballot. And actually you have I'm not about a mail-in ballot, not a provisional ballot. And it'll have on the line where you normally say name, they'll say don't let them vote because they were sent a mail-in ballot. All right? Because you could have mailed that ballot in and you're showing up trying to vote twice. And we don't know that. So we're not going to put you on the machine. But you're adamant. I never got it. I never sent it back in. I lost it, whatever. Right? Okay, well, you don't have, okay, fine. We'll give you provisional. And then you'll fill this out. Same deal. Goes down to county. And county can verify you did indeed not return your mail-in ballot. So they'll count this one. Okay? Now, as a side note to that, if you still have your physical ballot, if you got your mail-in ballot, you can surrender it at the polling place. You can bring it with you, right? Give it to the judge of elections. He'll do some paperwork, and then you will be vote the normal path because you've given the ballot that you were mailed back. We know it isn't in the mail. We know you're not voting twice. You surrender it to us, so we'll let you vote normally. Okay, that's not really related to why we have provisional ballots, but I'm just telling you right now, this is what we do. Okay, that's another little side note. So if you did request a mail-in ballot and you end up not using it for whatever reason, you forgot or you said, I'm going to go in person anyway, just bring that ballot with you. You can surrender it on the spot at the polling place and go vote normally. But if you don't have that ballot and they sent one to you, you're not voting the normal way. You're going to vote provisionally. And that's all provisional is. Provisional is saying, we're not saying you can't vote. We're just not sure you're fully allowed to vote. You're sure not legally allowed to vote. So we're going to let you vote, and then county will determine. They'll investigate whether or not that vote should count. Okay? Right? Now, provisional ballots are part of every election, and they are counted in every election. Okay? But they normally don't matter, as I said before. If the margin is larger than the total count of provisional ballots, nobody cares. They still get counted. The final results will include them. People still do all the work we just talked about. But you're not in a situation where you don't know who the winner is because provisional ballots the margin was more than the provisional ballots count. Okay, so just it's okay, guys. It's okay. Relax. Okay, 60,000 provisional ballots left outstanding or whatever it is, 30,000 margin. They're still counting them. All right, it takes some time. There's nothing nefarious going on here. All right. Now, secondly, the automatic recount. Okay? Because this race is so close, it's less than 0.5%. Pennsylvania law is less than 0.5%. It's an automatic recount. Casey isn't asking for a recount. McCormick doesn't have to ask for a recount. No lawyers involved, right? It's just automatic. It's this law. If a race is under 0.5%, it triggers an automatic recount. Okay? So I hope you have a little better understanding of provisional ballots, what they are, how they work, and why it takes some time to count them. Okay? So again, have some wine, have a peanut butter cup, have a shot of whiskey. I don't know. Watch, stream, reality TV shows, whatever it is you need to calm down. All right? Just calm down, guys. It's okay. Now, uh, my opinion, Casey's I'm sorry, McCormick's almost certainly going to hold on to his lead. I don't think there's enough votes out there to change this, but there are more votes out there than the margin, and Casey is refusing to concede. And even if he concede, if it turns out he wins, it's not going to matter. He's still the winner. But so that's why we don't have this. This is why this is still going on, guys. A week later. All right. So calm down. It's good. All right. Have a great night, and I am out.